Today, we're going to talk about a pretty radical shift in how we think about growth. We're moving past simple addition, 1 plus 1 plus 1, and into the seriously powerful world of multiplication. And to really get our heads around this, we're going to look at the strategy behind church planting movements. It's an incredible case study in creating massive, decentralized impact. All right, let's jump in. This quote from Pastor Vance Pitman really gets right to the heart of it. Just listen to that math. He's saying that even a massive 30,000-person megachurch would barely make a dent, not even 1%, in his city. But if they change the game from addition to multiplication, they could plant 10,000 smaller churches and reach over 3 million people. And that is the core idea we're exploring today, the absolutely staggering difference between growing one big thing and multiplying into many, many smaller ones. So let's break this down. The sources we're explaining today make this argument that a lot of organizations get caught in what they call an addiction to addition. But the alternative they propose is a totally different way of thinking. It's a strategy that is built for multiplication from the very beginning. This slide really lays it all out. On the left, you've got the addition model. It's all about one location, one central hub. And how do you measure success? By seating capacity. How many people can you fit in the building? But now look at the right. The multiplication model is all about being decentralized. It's not about gathering everyone in, it's about scattering leaders out, and success, it's measured by sending capacity. How many leaders can you train up and send out to start something new? The big takeaway here is that the entire definition of success gets flipped on its head. Okay, to make this idea really stick, the sources pull 3 simple but honestly brilliant metaphors straight from nature. And these aren't just cute illustrations. They kind of get at the very DNA of what a multiplication mindset is all about. So the first one asks a pretty blunt question. A mushroom, right? It tops up overnight, it's fast, it's impressive, but it's gone tomorrow. An oak tree, though, that takes 60 years to really grow. It's slow, it's patient, but it lasts for centuries. It becomes this landmark that whole communities are built around. This just perfectly illustrates that the multiplication mindset isn't about getting quick, flashy results. It's about patiently building something that's meant to last for generations. All right, next up, the coconut tree. The sources say the true fruit of a coconut tree isn't the coconut itself. It's a whole coconut grove. Now think about that for a second. The whole point of the fruit isn't just to be eaten. It's to be a seed that can take root and grow into a brand new tree, which then makes more coconuts that become more trees. The real goal is reproduction. For an organization, this means your goal isn't just to produce a great team member, but to develop them into a leader who can go and reproduce the entire model somewhere else. And for our last one from nature, let's talk about the starfish. If you cut an arm off a starfish, the original body doesn't die. It actually just grows a new arm back. But here's the wild part. That small piece that got sent off can grow into a completely new whole starfish. I mean, what a perfect picture of multiplication. Sending out a team doesn't weaken the original organization. It actually spurs on new growth. And meanwhile, that new team becomes a fully functioning version of the whole. So instead of losing a piece, you actually gain a whole new partner. So you might be wondering, what kind of leadership actually makes all this happen? Well, the sources call it an apostolic movement. And this term is all about a specific kind of leadership function designed purely for expansion. We're not talking about a title here, but a role, a job to be done within this growth strategy. To really get this, we have to go back to the original Greek word, apostolos. It literally means one sent on a mission. See, it's not a stationary title, it's an active one. It's an ambassador, a delegate, a pioneer who is sent out into new territory to get something started. Their entire identity is wrapped up in that act of being sent. This slide does a great job of showing the difference between 2 key leadership functions that the sources highlight. On one side, you've got the apostle. This role is a pioneer. They're mobile, always on the go, focused on starting new things in new places. They plant something, get it established, and then they move on. On the other side is the pastor. Their role is to be a shepherd. They are stationary, focused on nurturing and caring for one established community. The sources argue that multiplication grinds to a halt when you confuse these roles, when you expect shepherds to be pioneers, or when you force pioneers to stay put. Okay, so we've got the philosophy, we've got the leadership framework, but what does this actually look like on the ground? Let's dig into the practical, modern application of all this, which is often called the multi-site model. The sources lay out this really intentional 5-step process. It's like a pipeline. It starts with outreach and connecting with people. Then comes discipleship, which is all about training people and getting them plugged into the community. After that,
They're mobilized into serving roles. But here it is, the absolutely crucial step. Number 4, leadership development. This is where people aren't just trained to do a job, they're trained to train other people. This is the engine of reproduction. And the natural result of all this is step 5, expansion. New congregations are planted, and the whole cycle starts all over again. It's a system designed to create leaders who can multiply the whole thing.
And the sources point out this isn't just some new corporate strategy. Look at these numbers from the early Christian movement. At the end of the 1st century, it was a tiny, tiny fraction of the Roman Empire. But then, something just took off. The growth went exponential. And it wasn't because they built one giant cathedral in Rome. The sources say it happened because the faith spread through a multitude of humble, ordinary believers who were meeting in small, decentralized groups all across the empire. It was multiplication, pure and simple.
And that brings us right up to today. According to the research cited in our sources, there are now over 8,000 multi-site churches just in the United States. So this historical model of decentralized growth isn't some dusty relic. It's a strategy that's alive and well and growing rapidly right now. So what's the biggest thing holding this kind of growth back? The sources are really, really clear on this point. It's not money. It's not buildings. It's not even a lack of strategy. The single biggest roadblock is a shortage of qualified leaders. The entire model rises and falls on its ability to find, develop, and send out people. And that completely shifts an organization's main focus from managing resources to multiplying leaders. And all of this leaves us with one last big question that gets to the very heart of this mindset. What if we've been measuring success all wrong? The sources we've looked at today are challenging the traditional way we keep score. They're asking us to think about whether true, lasting impact is really found in how many people you can gather in one place, or in how many leaders you can empower and send out into the world. It's a fundamental redefinition of what it even means to grow.